What's going on, guys? Stefan here. Welcome to another video. It is Saturday today, so we have the weekend off of training. I'm going to go to the gym this morning though, just get a little workout in. I'll take you through my entire workout, show you exactly what I do. But training has been going really well. We've transitioned from groups of 4 or less to groups of 10 or less now. Even though everything is still non-contact, it's a big improvement to get 10 guys out on the pitch at once now with coaches. We can do bigger scale drills, work on tactics, crossing, finishing, stuff like that. So trainings have been getting a little bit more intense over the last few weeks. And we have a provisional return to play date in July. So there still needs to be a lot of stuff to figure out, but at least we have something to look forward to, and hopefully we start the season in about a month. But like I said, I just want to go to the gym today, rest up my legs this weekend, prepare for Monday. But let's get the day started. Oh, and a lot of you guys have been asking me what I use to record. I'll actually show you now because I just upgraded the whole setup, so let's take a look. So this is the setup I just upgraded to. We got the Canon M50, we got the external mic, we got the bendy tripod, we got the whole YouTuber setup. So hopefully this is a big improvement in audio and video. This is what I used to record before. Where is it? Here it is. So for 99% of the video that you've seen on this channel, this is all I used to record. Just my phone, my Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. This is what the quality was like beforehand. As you can see, it's not terrible, but it's definitely not the best. So hopefully you notice a difference between this and this. I think it's a big improvement. Hopefully you do too. But I'm gonna head off to the gym now, bring the little GoPro Hero 7 Black to the gym, record my workout, and I will meet up with you later on in the day to talk about the main topic of the video. So getting into the workout now, I always do some sort of warm-up before I do any weights. This workout in particular, I just went on the treadmill at 8 miles per hour for 10 minutes. So I did 1.3 miles before I got into the actual workout. Going into this workout, I didn't want to do exercises that were going to be very heavy and taxing on my legs. So the way I split it up was I did a lot of unilateral exercises, so single arm, single leg, plyometrics for the lower body, and then mostly for the upper body, I just did compound movements, pull-ups, bench press, stuff like that. So heading into the first superset, the first exercises I always do are plyometric exercises when I'm fresh. So the first exercise was a seated box jump. I held the medicine ball too, just to make it a little bit more difficult. I think the medicine ball was about 20 pounds. And I did 8 reps with this. After the box jumps, I went straight into a landmine shoulder press. This is a unilateral movement. As you can see, I'm just working one arm at a time. I'm keeping my feet in a staggered position. This just requires a little bit more stability from my lower body all the way through my core, all the way up to the upper body. With this exercise, I did 12 reps with the right, then 12 reps with the left arm. Moving into the next superset, I started with single leg step-ups. With this exercise, I was holding 25-pound dumbbells in each hand, kept one foot on the box the entire time, drove through that leg that was on the box. As you can see, I'm not pushing myself up too much with that opposite leg, then driving my opposite knee up at the top, holding it for a split second, controlling myself on the way down. And any single leg exercise you do like this is great for balance and stability. I did 12 reps on each leg. Then into just normal pull-ups, I did 12 reps with each set. Superset number 3 starts with a single arm incline dumbbell bench press. For this exercise, I used a 55-pound dumbbell and did 8 reps on each side. And the reason I'm doing this one arm at a time is because it's a little bit more challenging on your core. That dumbbell wants to pull me over to one side and rotate my upper body, so I need to brace my core a bit more to counteract that pull. Straight after the dumbbell press, I went into lateral lunges. I used a 35-pound dumbbell with this exercise and just did 10 reps on each side. Heading into the final superset, I wanted to focus a little bit more on my posterior chain, my hamstrings, and my glutes. So I hopped on the glute kickback machine and did 15 reps on each leg. And straight after that, I went into one last core exercise, just side plank reach throughs, and did 15 reps on each side. Even though I didn't really do core specific exercises previously throughout this workout, pretty much every exercise I did had my core engaged, so I didn't feel the need to do too much core at the end of it, so I just stuck with this one exercise. Alright, now for the main topic of this video, comparing my experience playing non-league in the National League North in England to playing in USL League One here in America. So this is something I've thought a lot about since finishing the 2018-19 season in England, and I guess my desire to make a video on this topic was recently sparked by a conversation I had with a player who played in USL League One last year and was talking to teams in the National League North, National League South in England, and just wanted my insight into what that comparison was like. But first of all, let me start off by saying I am not comparing England as a country to the United States as a country. I'm not comparing the England national team to the US national team. I'm not comparing the Prem to the MLS. I'm strictly talking about my experience playing in the National League North to playing in the USL. Nothing more than that. I already know comparing football in England to soccer in America is going to stir up a lot of controversy, but please just hear me out. Alright, with that out of the way, let's start by talking about the professionalism of the leagues. So I played for Southport FC in the National League North in England, which is the 6th division. I currently play for Tormenta FC in USL League One, which is the 3rd division in America. So technically, professional football stops at League Two in England, then you have the National League, then you have the National League North and National League South in the 6th division. While the National League North isn't considered a fully professional league, you do have fully professional teams in that division. So I'd say about 20% of those teams are fully professional and the rest are considered part-time. Professional status is obviously determined by budget, how much those players are actually getting paid, what the training schedule is like, and what amenities you get, such as housing and food. So with my club in England, and my setup in particular, we were on a full-time professional schedule. We were training nearly every single morning. I had housing provided to me, and I had some meals provided to me throughout the day. Meanwhile, at a part-time club, teams would train Tuesdays and Thursdays in the evenings because most players worked throughout the day. But with my setup, I was able to live comfortably just from the money I was making from playing and had housing and food provided. So comparing this to the USL as a whole here in America, the USL Championship and USL League One are both fully professional leagues. So every single team in both of those leagues are considered fully professional. They train 5 days a week in the morning and provide certain amenities to players. As a whole, the USL is a more professionally run league, obviously because it is a professional league. And I'd say that teams definitely look out for their players more as far as housing and food compared to the National League North in England, because a lot of those teams are just part-time and those players live close to the club. So let's talk about level of play, style of play, and everything that goes along with that. I'll start off by saying non-league in England and the USL here in America are both very physical leagues, but in very different ways. So I would say that here in the USL, players are very physical, but more in an athletic way. And what I mean by that is there's a bit more emphasis on players' development in the gym compared to how it was in England. So players in America are, I'd say, faster, stronger, and more well-built than players in England. But the National League North is a very physical league, and what I mean by that is players are more gritty, they're more willing to get stuck in a tackle, and they are not afraid to smash you. And the referees let a lot more slide in England than they do here in the States. I've seen some crazy tackles, I've seen center backs literally drag strikers to the ground, and not a foul was called. So players in England are definitely more tough, but players in America I think are more athletic. And next, let's talk about the styles of play. So even though both of these leagues are relatively comparable in level of play, I'll talk more about that later on, the main difference, the biggest difference, is in the style of play. So my experience going into England, I knew it was going to be a physical competitive league. I didn't know how little they would keep the ball on the ground though. You will find in England at the non-league level, most of the teams play just very direct. Just boot the ball up to the strikers, press everybody up, and try to win the second ball. And my success as a left fullback in England was pretty much determined, game in and game out, how well I could boot the ball up the field and knock a long ball down the channel up to the striker. There was no emphasis on playing out of the back. There was no emphasis on me finding a center mid or my outside mid. It was pretty much just get the ball, boot it up the sideline, and push the team up. going into that, not having played in a league that was so direct was honestly very difficult for me to transition to. My style of play personally is much more based around keeping the ball on the pitch, knocking the ball around the field, and not just booting it up and trying to win the second ball. So comparing that to the USL, teams in America are much more willing to move the ball around the pitch and build up an attack rather than just dump the ball and chase it. And I think a big reason most teams play very direct in England is because of the weather there. Once the rain comes, it doesn't stop, and the pitches are pretty much all grass there, so they just turn to mud. And being a left back, I didn't have a lot of time on the ball because as soon as I would get a ball, I would have a striker sprinting after me because he knew the likelihood of a bad touch was possible. So it was kind of my job just to get the ball off my foot quick and dump it down the field. And I also noticed that I have more time on the ball here in America. Like I said, every single time I would get the ball, I would have a striker sprinting towards me, where I think the teams in America kind of respect and understand the style of play a bit more. They know a team is going to build up out of the back, so there's no need to go and press them all the way up the pitch right away. So that is by far the biggest difference between the National League North and the USL. Now, comparing the level of play, the quality of the players in the National League and in the USL has the edge, but I think it's mostly determined by that style of play. You have very good, very technical players in both of those leagues. A lot of my teammates in England came from Football League teams, they came from Premier League academies, but I think the quality is able to be shown a bit more in the USL because of the style of play. Because teams here like to build and attack more, players have a bit more freedom and their technical ability really shows more than it did in England. Players can showcase their dribbling, their passing, their receiving, their creativity, their soccer IQ more in America because of the style of play. So because of that, I think the quality in the USL is a bit higher. But don't get me wrong, National League North, non-league as a whole in England is very competitive. You have very good teams and very, very good players. So that about wraps it up for me. National League and USL are both very good leagues, but I think the biggest takeaway is they are very different leagues. But I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, turn the notifications on so you get notified whenever I post a video. And I think that's about it. Subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.